let's get on to the big show here. Brett, I want to apologize to you because we're going to talk about a console you hate a lot. We're talking about the PlayStation 2, man.
Uh-oh. Oh, I don't like the PlayStation 2.
Yeah. Didn't you say it was a piece of shit, man? You said that a billion times.
It was built like crap. I loved it, but I had to go through like 3 of them.
Yeah. It was, Brett, it was the original Xbox 360, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. I only went through, yeah, go ahead, man.
It was the PS2, and since it's 20 years old, it was literally old Sony.
Yeah, it was old Sony. But let's set this up, right? So yes, this week marks the 20th anniversary of the launch of the PlayStation 2 in North America. So we're gonna wax nostalgic about it. Also, PlayStation 2 is now officially a retro console. Ain't that about a bitch? Don't you feel old out there, people? Man, you get out here, man.
Yeah,
what is this?
look at that.
PlayStation 2. That's the Gran Turismo edition right there.
It's the Gran Turismo edition. It's the one that me and Tony and our friend Mike got.
Yep.
Our friend Mike got from the. Yeah. It's actually not in there. It's actually still actually underneath my television.
Nice.
But yeah, that's the box. I don't have Gran Turismo anymore though. I sold that shit.
Yeah, no, exactly. All right. So Taylor, why don't you lead us off? What were some of your favorite PlayStation 2 games, memories, all that stuff?
Oh god, where do I begin? Okay, so I was the tender age of 5 years old when this console came out.
Wow, damn, making us feel old.
Wow.
It's just, oh god, I can't believe it's been this long. I really can't. I'm just at I'm at a loss for words. First off, but
you need a moment. We can come back to you.
Okay. So listen, it was fun. I have a lot of like good memories with the PS2. I had like other like home consoles that like me and my like brother shared or whatever, but like the PlayStation 2 was my first console that was like my own. My mom got me one. I was like really excited. I like amassed like one of the biggest collection of like just like libraries of games that I had in a long time. Obviously, I don't have that anymore because when you're a kid and you don't have a job and you gotta make shared sacrifices of trading in games at GameStop just to get that one game you really want. But I learned I played a lot of great games, and some of my favorite like intellectual properties were created out of the PlayStation 2. It taught me a lot of things as a kid, like responsibility, because let's face it, cartridges and discs are not the same, especially when we're comparing like durability and things like that. Like Okami is one of my favorite games of all time, came on the PlayStation 2. There's like Shadow of the Colossus.
Yes.
There's just so many Jak and Daxter. I literally side note, like Jak and Daxter, just like the Jak series, like is just one of my favorites. It's a great platformer. I really wish that it would come back. I hope it comes back on the PlayStation 5, but that's wishful thinking. But I remember when I heard that like Limited Run Games was gonna do like the physical copies of like the Jak games, and I heard that the first game was gonna be come out first, and like I remember I got a certain edition of it, and it came with like the precursor orbit. I was like, I have to get this because I was like so many memories, so like just so much nostalgia, and there's I could go on for just like hours of like why the PS2 just holds like a really really special place in my heart. But I know we got to do a little roundtable here, but there's a lot of memories that I have with the PlayStation 2. I've experienced it. Allowed me to step out of my comfort zone and experience a lot of titles. It kind of helped me define a little bit about what kind of gamer I am, and just like who I am as a person. And I owe so much to just the PlayStation 2, to Sony, to all the games that I played in my lifetime. It's an amazing console. It really is.
Yeah, for sure. And you could jump in whenever, because we're going to be going around. You know what, Manny, since you started, so yeah, him and I, we, our story begins the same and stuff. Like we got the PlayStation 2. We got it really cheap. It was like $150 or something. Like I think our boy's boy must have nicked it off the back of a truck or something. Like that shit was cheap as fuck, Yeah. But I'll give my story first because I've said this before, but I was not a PlayStation fan back in the day. I hated PlayStation, as a matter of fact, because I was a Sega guy, right? That was my Sega Saturn 32X. That was my shit. So when the PlayStation came out, I was like, fuck this shit, fuck PlayStation, even though there was a part of me that secretly wanted it because when I saw Metal Gear and fucking Final Fantasy 7, I was like, fuck. Because I was watching Manny and shit play and stuff. So when the Dreamcast died, I honestly believe I was done with gaming. I'm like, damn, Sega's dead. That's it. It's fucking over. The dream is dead, literally. So for like a whole summer,
has been casted.
Yeah, when the Dreamcast died, for like Manny could verify this, for 3 months, I didn't play nothing. I'm like, I kept playing the same games over and over again, but I was like,
he literally,
You're just stuck in purgatory.
Yeah,
he literally said what he just said here. He's like, well, I guess it's gone. I guess I'm not going to be playing any more games anymore. I'm like looking at him like, come on, you're going to be fucking playing games.
And then obviously, and then obviously the day came, was like our boy Mike was like, yo, you want a PlayStation 2 for $150? I'm like, yeah, I kind of do.
I'm gonna bite the bullet, man.
So there weren't any PS2 games that I wanted at that point, right? So I bought myself some PS1 games, right? One was a very smart choice. One was a very stupid choice. So the first game I bought was Metal Gear Solid. Obviously, I needed to have that, right? Fucking loved it, right? And the other one, I was a dumbass motherfucker.
Was it Bubsy 3D?
No. No. Instead of Final Fantasy 7, like I should have bought, I said, I want to buy the futuristic one. Final Fantasy 8. Oh, I regretted that fucking decision, man.
And it's funny. It's funny because I warned you up and down the block about
that you
game.
did, but the visuals, man, the visuals,
I know it looks nice, but it's fake.
Yeah, even till this day. Yeah. By the way, even till this day, the game looks good. Yeah, even till this day,
it's an impressive. It's a damn impressive game. But everything else is stupid in the game.
Yeah, and then
the meme that FF8 gives.
Yeah, oh my god.
Back here.
And then after that, games started coming. Final Fantasy X was fucking dope. Metal Gear Solid 2, right? Manny had the fucking demo disc of that shit. We played the hell out of that. What'd that come with?
Came with Zone of Enders.
Zone of the Enders, right? So play the hell out of it. So I got the game. What was cool about Metal Gear Solid 2, and Manny could vouch for this too, it really helped us kind of get through the shit of 9/11 because it was at that same time.
That game was supposed to they delayed that game.
Yeah.
Or I remember once it all happened there, and they delayed the game, and everybody was sort of afraid that it was going to, like, oh man, are they going to push it to next year? What are they going to do? The game takes place in New York. What's all this happening? But that came. I think that game came out in like November.
Yeah, it was that year. Yeah,
November 2000.
Yeah, and they had to change stuff. There was a big attack on the Washington Bridge. They had to change all that.
Well, no, they didn't change.
Oh no, it was an attack on the lower part of Manhattan where the World Trade Center was.
It was Arsenal Gear crashes into lower Manhattan.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was.
They got rid of all the destruction that happened. They cut. That's why it has that weird shot where it essentially looks like it's going toward New York, and then all of a sudden it cuts, and then you're inside of in the final battle. Is because there was a whole scene of Arsenal Gear smashing into downtown Manhattan. It doesn't crash into the Twin Towers, but number one, the Twin Towers there. Number two, a bunch of destruction, which is still sort of fresh in people's minds. I mean, especially like us, Chris, Tony, me,
Adam.
Adam. We all lived in New York at the same time, and we all were affected by it. Adam used to live, worked in the area of. Yeah, he worked a few blocks away. I was going to school in the city. I think Chris, you were working in the city at that time too, right?
And our boy Mike, he worked a couple blocks from there.
He worked downtown on Wall Street. So,
yeah. So this shit was great. So that game definitely helped. And the PlayStation 2 again. I've always said, next to the Super Nintendo, probably objectively the best console of all time, man. There's so many fucking games on that. My personal favorite, as I've said before, Metal Gear Solid 3, greatest game of all time, just blew me away. We had San Andreas. I played that shit forever. Grand Theft Auto 3. Yeah,
PS2 had the best library.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Strong library.
Without a doubt.
Pause for a second. Like 2001 though, fall and holiday 2001 for the PlayStation 2 was phenomenal. A bunch of strong exclusive titles came out for that, like Metal Gear Solid 2. There's Jack and Daxter, Silent Hill 2, Final Fantasy X, Devil May Cry, Ico, Grand Theft Auto 3. Like, jeez, like I can't think of another time where a console had a first party library that strong in that short amount of time. It was just like a different time. It was crazy. Like, so many good games came out in that just like that block of that year.
Well,
and
right now
don't
we-
get me wrong, like the PS2 had a pretty weak like
Yeah,
launch.
2000
it had a
was
lot
bad,
of games,
yeah.
but Jesus, it was that there's like maybe one game I actually gave a damn. But like a year later, it had a strong, like it had a lot of, it showed a bright future for the console. It really did.
Yeah. Carlos, what were you gonna say, bro?
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, right now we'd be lucky if we got that lineup even for all games for a year.
Yeah,
Let
no, we
alone
don't get
for-
that
for-
anymore.
for
You know,
44.
I'm just gonna say, one quick thing, and then because I could go on for hours about PlayStation 2, right? The other game that fucked me up, and I'm gonna speak for a lot of people, right, out in the world, Grand Theft Auto 3, man, that was a game changer right there.
Yeah.
I remember I was watching my boy Chris, not this Chris, we call him Evil Chris, right? He was playing. I'm like, I couldn't wrap my head around. I'm like, so you're telling me you can go anywhere you want? He's like, yeah, anywhere. Like, over there? You go over there? Yeah. And then he goes, I'm like, wait, will you go over there? He's like, Tony, take the fucking controller and just play this shit. You know, and I'm like, oh shit, just ran this motherfucker over. Yo, oh my God, Grand Theft Auto 3 was crazy, man. That was back in the day, like when open world games were not like everywhere. So it, like when an open world game came, it was special, but they were never as good as Grand Theft Auto. Never as good. Even till this day, like Rockstar still makes the best ones out there, man.
Oh,
It's interesting- it's
Rockstar
interesting
Games
about-
is the gold standard for open
Yeah,
world
they
games.
do.
Let's be real.
It's interesting about the Grand Theft Auto games because the Grand Theft Auto games were open world games even when
But they were
originally
top down.
started.
That's the problem.
They were
top
you know?
down.
Yeah.
You know,
You
but now
make it
they're-
You can
3D.
fart. They had a button dedicated to farting.
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah,
you make it
there's a front
3D,
part.
that's a whole different story right there. You know, Adam, man, PlayStation 2, tell us about it.
Well, my take is a little different.
Uh-oh.
It was like Freestyle. That was a big one for me. Manhunt was a big one for me. Spider-Man.
Yep,
Those are the
Spider-Man
ones.
PS2.
Yes. Yep. Metal Gear. Then later on, and it was between that and my Xbox. But then later on, Manny got me a Slim, and he got it with God of War. God of War 2 was
Oh,
on there.
man, God of War.
Yeah, and I spent a lot of time with God of War 2. And that was it. You know, those are the ones that I pretty much played all the time. I still love that. All the EA big games. I loved all the EA big games. The NBA Street. I love when they did the NFL Street. I love those. The snowboarding game. SS Tricky.
It's tricky, yeah.
Yeah, those are great. Like, why
Tricky.
can't these are the games that should be on Switch right now. Everybody would go out and
Like
go pick
those
up.
fun
Yeah,
arcade
those
sort of
arcade
games, yeah.
games. Yeah, you don't need to go all super sim. Oh, we can't put Madden on it. You can't even put Madden correct on current gen. Listen, just bring the old shit back, bring the arcadey stuff back, and let people have some fun. Put a $20 price tag on it, make some money. It's okay.
Yeah.
So those are the games I spent a lot of time playing. That was it.
Nice.
You
Man,
know,
what were some of your favorites, man?
Oh my God! Like, like the first, obviously, you said the first part of it, which was in the 2001 area. You know, was Zone of Enders, Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy, 10. Ico or Eco, whatever you want to call it. That game, I remember playing that at the local software, etc. And I
Oh,
was
shit.
like enamored with that thing because they had the demo back then. They actually still had the demo stations running, and I played that game and I was like, oh my God, when is this thing coming out? Because I really want to play it. I'm probably like the only guy, one of the only persons that actually has a real original copy of the game that played it on the day and date. Yeah. And then we got to talk about the end part of the PlayStation. because it
Oh,
doesn't-
man, yeah.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. You realize that God of War 1, God of War 2, what was it? Okami, all those things, and Shadow of the Colossus were all at the tail end of the damn thing.
Yep.
They were like when God of War 1 came out, they're like, how is this game? How are we doing this at the end?
Yo, man,
You know?
Yeah, Devil May Cry 3 is another one that came out in 2000. 2005 was a crazy fucking year, man.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yo, Manny, just say it.
Ooh.
What?
It does not make a goddamn lick of sense.
Did I say that before?
You do that every show.
Yeah, I remember
Well,
God of War. I remember God of War 2 came out in 2007. Think about the PlayStation 3 was already out. People were like, "What the fuck is this shit
Yeah.
doing on PlayStation 2?"
literally
granted,
the
the
same.
PS3 wasn't really popular.
Yeah, that's right. You know,
Yeah,
even though
well,
2007 was a good year in
Too
gaming
expensive,
overall.
man.
Though.
Okay, let's say
it's a
2005, 2005 is Metal Gear Solid Subsistence, Kingdom Hearts 2. Let's see what else we got here. For Adam the Warriors, that's also 2005.
Oh yes.
Come out to play, Resident Evil 4, Devil May
Well,
Cry
the PS2
3.
version was kind of rough. for
Yeah, it's a
Resident
little rough.
Yeah, but this is
that
the one that most people play because nobody had a GameCube. It was like 10 dudes, you know.
Yeah,
The Wii version is still one of the best, though.
Yeah, I heard that was
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
good, but I'm not trying to
It's so
play
good.
with that shit. Resident Evil 4, that was another game changer right there, you know. That was another one.
Yeah.
PlayStation 2 was so fucking good, man. You know what? I'm hearing all this stuff and I'm getting mad. 'Cause I'm like, yo, I wish we had console generations like that, man. It's like it's all fucking bullshit now.
Well, to be honest, but you got to look at it this way, like, you know, that was the last era where you could sort of take maybe 2 years to finish off a game, right?
Yeah, you
God of
only
War-
need you didn't need 50 years for a game, you know.
Well, the God of War was-
Games came out, you know, when the games went gold, they were fucking done. None of that fucking DLC, microtransactions, patches. That was
Pre-order
You don't like
bonus.
it?
yeah,
You
none
don't
of that
like it?
shit. None of that shit.
You know what? But I gotta say something. I would agree with that until a point. I do like the fact that we can get games patched because there were so many games that I picked up before they were broken out the box. You had to do what can you do? Just get a refund. There was a wrestling game in particular. It was a Raw one. WWE did one. Broken out the box. It just did not work. Couldn't grab. And I was like, what do I do now? Just get a refund because every game version is busted. It's not just my disc.
that's-
I rarely
that
ran
hap-
into that though, you know.
that happened to me with Metal Gear Solid 2.
Uh-oh.
Metal Gear Solid 2 was my I got multiple copies of Metal Gear Solid 2 that were broken. Essentially, it would freeze essentially at the point in the first part of it, at the part where Osella goes, "No, I'm taking it back." It skips. It goes, "No, I'm taking it back," and then the game would freeze
Wow.
every single time.
I'm thankful
And
I
I
never
got
had to
three-
experience that shit.
I got 3 different versions of the same game that had broken at that same point, and I had to keep returning them. Yeah, until I got one that worked well. But even that one was questionable as to how well it would work until they somehow fixed it later.
Yeah. All right, Carlos, get in here, man. PlayStation 2.
All right, I can't beat Taylor here, but I was like 11 when it came out, maybe. So yeah, man, it was my first DVD player.
Yeah.
Yay.
So got to watch The Matrix.
Of course.
First DVD. So it was on those weird sleeve things. So yeah, but as far as games, I played all the good ones, man. I played God of War 2. I played all the GTAs. I think that was the best generation for GTA, especially compared to now, since GTA 5 is just gonna come out every generation from now on.
It
They're
takes
like,
over 2
"After GTA
generations.
6, we're just gonna keep making GTA 5 until it stops printing us money."
Yo, believe me, it's gonna be in the PS6 reveal. It's gonna be the first thing shown. Shadow Colossus. I'm looking at all these games. I think I played Resident Evil 4 on this too, if I'm not mistaken. Either that or the Xbox. I don't remember where I played that from. And it has to be the PS2.
It probably was like PS2 or GameCube because it was like at the time that was like the only versions. Because I don't think it ever came on it original Xbox anyway.
Okay, so it must have been PS2 then. So yeah, it just everyone's talking about the lineup, and it's a great lineup. I didn't get to play as many games. I did play a lot of the highlights. I did, but I was too young, and I had multiple consoles, so I was stretched thin when it came to like getting like an abundance of games. But yeah, I think it's for me, it's a top 3. It's number 3 in terms of console lineup for me, obviously, because Chris said it's his number 1, and I think a lot of people agreed with him. I'm still Team 360, and then Team SNES, and then Team PS3.
360 for me. Yeah, that was my favorite.
Yeah. Now, in my heart of hearts, I want to say Dreamcast, but PlayStation 2 is the better console overall. So for me, just off the say, it would be PS2, Super Nintendo, Ooh, I need to think about number 3. I don't know what would be the one after that. Maybe Sega Saturn. I'm not sure. No.
That'd be bold.
Yeah,
Say
what happened? Yeah, I may have to.
Like,
Anyway, Brett, PlayStation 2 games, man, and memories too. Toss it all in there.
The big one, and you're gonna find this a little weird, was Metal Gear Solid.
Really, 2?
Dude, I loved that game. Yeah.
Whoa, I didn't realize. I knew you played the first one on PlayStation. I didn't realize you played the second one. That's dope.
Yeah. I played up until number 3 when it took this weird kind of soap opera turn, and it was all cutscenes. And I was like, not saying it's not fantastic, just not for me. So they took a direction I didn't want. And yeah, but man, I remember playing the fuck out of those games. Like that's my biggest memory. Played a lot of RPGs on there. I'll be honest, when you get to be alright, so a lot of it kind of starts to blur together a little bit. Which generation was that? Yeah, I remember playing a shitload of RPGs on that.
There was a lot of RPGs on PlayStation 2. That's a fact.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, the biggest thing I remember from PlayStation 2 was the vast array, like an ocean of games. You could just dive in like you're bobbing for apples and come up with something that's like, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, I mean,
yeah, that was back in the
gold
day.
Years
yeah.
because
Yeah, no, go ahead, Brett. I was just saying that was also the era we still had AA games, Brett. Like, hey, this game's cool. Like, it may not be all that, but it's kind of cool. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing I can say about it it sounds weird, is that I don't have any one particular game that I remember because there were so many. So
yeah,
I've been sitting here, I've been trying to think of like what fucking game is like. I'm sure there are games that you guys have said, and people that will say, I'm like, oh,
yeah, GTA, man.
I mean, of course, GTA.
Yeah.
That kind of goes without saying.
That's true.
Yeah.
That was
Vice
the big
City
revolution,
too.
though.
Yeah, Vice City was my shit too. Go ahead, bro.
Oh shit! What is God damn it! Like the Punisher story ripoff. You stole my daughter. I get bullet time.
Oh,
Max Payne.
Max Payne.
Max Payne.
Yeah, man.
That was the PC one for me.
Yeah.
fact, that
Rockstar
came
just
out
had
on
a
PC first.
strong library.
Yo,
on
Rockstar wasn't
PlayStation.
fucking around on PS2.
It was it was crazy. Like they had Bully, they had the GTA games. I mean, Manhunt had its controversy, but if you look past the controversy, Manhunt's not a bad game.
Manhunt
It's
was
just
dope.
It was very. I mean, like it definitely might make
Midnight
you
Club. Hold on, who said that shit? Barry Burton. Hell, fucking yeah. Midnight Club. Let's go. That's another one. Rockstar, what's up, man?
It was just on fire. I don't know. It was like a fire lit up in their ass during that time. It was just like pow, 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 pow. Just so many good games. It's just like, oh.
And then this generation, we only get one game from them. This generation, this entire generation, we only got Red Dead Redemption 2. Think about it. Think GTA 5 was last gen.
Yeah.
You know, real quick, Chris, before I go to you, I do want to say this. I played so many PlayStation 2 games, and you guys know this too, man. So many bootlegs on that motherfucker, man. I had that special deal and shit where you take the disc tray out.
Oh my.
You know,
Jesus.
oh Taylor, I told you this. You don't know this story. I told this story many times, right? So
I want to hear it.
Manny and I's friend, right? I'm not gonna say his name, but so his thing was like, he needed like fresh piss for his parole officer, right? So what I would do is I would give him my piss. I'm clean, by the way. I'm still clean, people. If you need my services, right? I would sell him my piss, and he would give me games that he ripped. You know, so I played everything. You know, it was crazy. So that was a lot of fun, you know, just thinking about that. Like Enrique's like, yo, Tony, man, like, yo, I need the hookup. I'm like, you got the hookup? You know?
Item, actually, you know who it is.
Yeah, I'll tell you off air. By the way, Mike also helped him with those services. But it's like, hey, I only drink alcohol. That shit is legal, man. You need my services. I don't do nothing else, you know? And I'm still like, don't do drugs, kids. You know, except for Brett. He's okay. Oh, man. Anyway.
Hey,
yeah.
weed isn't a drug.
Yeah, it just grows like that. It just grows, and if you burn it, it just has some side effects.
I just think that Cat Williams.
That's exactly.
He's like, how is weed illegal? Weed is just a plant.
It just grows, and if you burn it, there will be some effects.
I mean, allegedly, so I hear. I don't know
yes.
I don't know this man.
All right, Chris, get in here, man. PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I remember. I think the first week it came out, I was working my second job, and I was like, I'm not gonna get one, and my boss at the time, he knew a manager at the GameStop on 34th Street, and he's like, "Do you want a PS2?" He just came up to me randomly in the middle of the day. I'm like, "Yeah, I want one." And he's like, "All right, come, yo, 4 o'clock, we're bouncing. Come with me, okay?" So we walked to, we took the train. We walked to the back of the store, and his boy was out there, and he's like, I just gave him money. He's like, "Here you go." He just gave me a bag. I was like, "Oh shit."
So he was like, yo, I got my PlayStation.
They should, yeah, it's it. So that's how I got my PS2. And he's like, "What games you want?" He just went in and got him. Like at the time, what were the launch games? I got Orphan and Summoner, and they were terrible.
Yo.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, these games are terrible. I tried to play Summoner, it was garbage, and Orphan was kind of boring. It's like anime
Bungie.
game. I don't know about this shit.
This
It
was
wasn't till
2000, right? This was 2000.
yeah, this was 2000.
Wow.
Yeah,
Those are the launch ones.
Yeah.
so it wasn't until
Yeah, I
like
just dropped the whole list. There.
Yeah.
it wasn't until I got my hands on like Metal Gear Solid 2, and I remember the games I really loved on there besides the Metal Gear games was all the platformers. Like there was the Sly Cooper games,
Yes.
Ratchet and
Ratchet
Clank,
and Clank.
just
You know?
So
Jack
many
and
good
Daxter.
platformers. Yes.
I loved it.
Klonoa. There was a ton of fun platformers on PS2. I loved them. Also,
all
Resident
look
Evil
good.
4 was great.
Yeah. That was like the last big era for like mascot platformers. After that, that shit was
Yes.
done. You know?
Oh yeah,
Oh, so good.
yeah. The racing games were good. Like I played Burnout on there, and
Burnout 3. That was another
yeah,
one.
yeah, that was fantastic. I mean, I played one of the SOCOM games. I think SOCOM 2 I played on there. It was good. And there was I mean, Silent Hill 2 blew my mind when I saw it because I had played the first one on PlayStation,
Yeah.
and I thought they had made such a leap. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe the cutscenes in that game. Like my mind was melting. I'm like, holy shit! We went from mitten hands. This guy looks fucking real. He's washing his face, and he's like freaking out. He's messing with his radio. I'm like, this is great. So I love those, and I played all of the PS2 Silent Hills, like 2, 3, and 4, all came out on PS2, and I had played all of them. I
Yeah.
love those games.
That's awesome. Manny, what did you put on screen right now?
Oh, you can see the launch lineup right there.
Oh, wow.
Let me just turn off my little bug there.
I
on the
can't.
bottom.
Yeah, I can't even read that shit.
Yeah, it's a little hard
Armored
to see.
Core 2, DOA 2, Hardcore, Dynasty Warriors 2, ESP. I'm not gonna read all that, but yeah, that's not a good.
There you
lineup.
go. There's the two of them.
Yeah.
Fucking Orphan and Summoner. I see them.
Wow.
Oh yeah, Orphan and Summoner, Cue Ball.
NHL
Red
2001.
Actually-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ready
Madden
Rumble.
when they actually tried to make them good.
Ridge Racer is there on there too.
What's that? Street Fighter
Silent
EX3. I
Second
didn't.
tag.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
Unreal
a.
Tournament.
Yee, that's hard.
Surfing
Yeah,
H2O.
It was all right.
Yeah. Surfing
Second Tag
H2O.
Tournament.
X Squad, man. Oh shit. The bouncer.
Wait. Yep, the bouncer.
Bouncer. Yep.
Oh, I only ever saw that at Manny's place. It was
Yeah.
Yeah, man. He's the only guy who bought it, man.
I'm the only one who bought it. But the thing is, I bought it actually after the fact because I was.
Yeah, you did buy it
when-
after the
that
fact.
That was the one that was the bouncer was the showcase for the PlayStation 2 at the time. It was probably the best looking game that they had on it, and they would always show it in the ads and all that stuff. Like, hey, this is what the next generation looks like and stuff like that. But yeah, it wasn't. I'd be the first to tell you it wasn't the best made game. That's why you need a remake. Remake a bad game and make it good. Right?
Yeah. I like that. All right.
Remake
yeah.
not such a good game. You make it better.
Oh, yeah. Brian, get in here, man. Tell us about SOCOM, man.
The damn thing is great. Sorry, the damn thing was great, and then Sony decided to fuck it up. But yeah, back in the PS2 days, it was that game. It was the Halo of the PS2 era, I'd say. It was the game that all my friends were playing. We would just like go on it every single night. We'd play for hours on end, and it would just be so much fun. And it was a game where, lo and behold, you had to have skill to actually be good at it. I know, right? There were no kill streaks. There were no like stupidly powered weapons. It had systems in there that made sense. It had encumbrance online. So if you want to like run around like an RPG, you like walk slow and stuff. But if you didn't want to do that, just walk around with an SMG, then you like run around and just be like amazingly quick. There was none of this quick scoping nonsense that kids have these days. It's like no, you actually had to be skillful with your sniper rifle. Take your time, aim your shots, know where the guys are coming from, adjust your scope, that type of stuff. It had vehicles online. It was so good. And then Sony fucked it.
Yeah, SOCOM 2 was such a good game.
SOCOM 1, 2 were really great. 3 was a bit but it was still like really good. I think they did a really good job with that. They had a really good winning formula with SOCOM games, in my opinion. I'm surprised that you guys didn't mention this. The Mercenaries game by EA. When EA
never played those.
Mercenaries were fun. I played all those.
Yeah.
Those
so good.
Ooh.
That was all on Xbox. I don't have any PS2 memories of that. I just have my Xbox memory.
Red Faction being good.
I mean, like, anyone remember? Speaking of like good football games, like there were some pretty good football games that actually came out like on the PS2. Like remember? Well, I mean, it came out. Well, some of them came on the Xbox too. Like remember 2K5, NFL 2K5?
Yeah,
one of the best football games.
Is that the one with Randy Moss on it?
Yeah, like on no, Terrell Owens was the cover athlete for 2K5 for.
Oh, on the Eagles.
Yeah, when he was on the Eagles. But oh my god, and there was like I forgot what it was like called, but there was another football game. I think it wasn't necessarily. Well, it was like a simulation game, but I think it was called like All Pro Football 2K8. That was pretty good too.
It was the Game Day. That was Microsoft had their own version when for that whole Madden exclusivity deal.
Yeah,
that was pretty good. The Game Day series.
That was pretty good. I know that was like PS3 and like 360, but like I just miss how good simulation football games like used to be, and it sucks that like they just suck now because there's only one.
It sucks that they suck.
They suck hard now.
Yeah. Before I go back to Brian, real quick, GCDR says that, or he's asking us what movie came with the PlayStation 2. A movie came with PlayStation 2?
No, we didn't have it that version of it.
I remember the Xbox came with Donkey Kong.
There was a bundle that
no movie came with mine.
Yeah, like I didn't get a movie,
I didn't get a movie.
Yeah, right. We got ripped off, man. So Brian, what other games did you like playing, man?
I forgot about this. Adam, did you ever play FIFA Street?
Of course, that was all part of the EA Big, and then they tried to add that again in FIFA 20 with the Volta, and it doesn't feel the same. It's not the same.
It was on the GameCube too.
Yeah, I miss Street. I have Street on my Retro Pi back here. I played that for the PSP.
It was so good.
Loved it.
Like, who knew that like playing football in like a way where you don't play football was so much fun? It was like 3 people.
3-on-3, close quarters. Yeah. You can bang the ball off the walls and stuff. You could do all the crazy tricks at ease. It was fun.
It was just stylish football. It's like, yeah, this is also fun. Like you don't need to be like simulation. Like, oh, I'll make sure I'll play against like the right teams with like my right formations and all. So it's like, no, just play 3 random people and have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I miss EA.
Man, did anybody play the Prince of Persia games?
Yes, dude.
That's Tony right there, man.
Sansa, yeah, I played all of them. Oh, Carlos, man, what's up, man? Bud Light Seltzer once again. And shout out to the Bibaporu, Yeah, okay.
You're not sponsored.
I played all 3 of them, loved them, but my favorite will always be Sansa Time, man. Playing that game, it was like you're in a legit fairy tale, like you were just absorbed. I replayed the fuck out of that game.
Oh, yeah, I love that game.
Hurts me what they're doing with it right now, man.
I had to I actually returned 2 copies of it because I didn't know the game had a bug with the PS2 DVD remote. So
really?
if you keep the dongle in for the remote, it causes the character to keep running right on the screen. So I put the game in, and I'm like, why the fuck can't I control this dude? Like he's just moving, and I couldn't control the menu. So I take it back to GameStop. I'm like, shit is defective. Okay, they give me another one. I go home. oh shit, it's doing the same thing. And then I finally figured it out. I pulled the dongle out and he stopped moving. I'm like,
Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy.
I had something like that happen, and it was with Skate 3. And so I remember I bought Skate 3. I was all excited to get home. I go load up. Now, one of the cool things, it says it can load up your profile from Skate 2. So I'll go to load up. And then whenever I would go to do one mission, I could hear all the characters and I could hear the skaters and the event would start, but the whole screen would go black. Didn't understand what was going on. So I brought it back to GameStop. They gave me another one, brand new. Same thing. I said, I don't believe there's 2 brand new games. And it's still like them. Had to look up online. Turns out one of the assets, one of the shirts, just so happened to be like the shirt that my character was wearing from Skate 2 didn't carry over to Skate 3. So when the game tries to load up that character, right, for some reason in that mission, even though in the menu you can see it, in that mission, it glitches and the whole shit stops working. So I said, oh. So when I stopped using my character in the menu, I just selected generic, then the game worked.
You know what you could have did? You could have went back into Skate 2 again, right? You know, the previous Skate,
I didn't
change
have
the skirt out.
Yeah, I didn't have that one. That was when I was trading in shit. So I didn't even have 2 anymore. I finished it. I was like, oh, I'm moving to Skate 3. So
yeah. So here's a fun little blast from the past here. So what this is the packet for the PlayStation advisory panel. Apparently, if you were part of the PlayStation Underground, you actually got this, as well as a nice little fun little certificate signed by Mr. Andrew House, saying, hey, you are part of the PlayStation advisory panel. At the time that I got this thing, I didn't even know what the hell it was. I was like, why are they sending me stuff? Well, I didn't enter into any contest. So, yeah, it's a fun little thing there.
Andrew House, that's your boy, man.
That's Andrew House all on there.
That's crazy.
what did it do? Did you get anything after that? Did you get weird surveys?
Well, you used to get surveys and all that sort of stuff if you had an email, but I think, I had an email at that time. And then you get your little card, which I still never took out of the thing there. I just never ended up using it. Apparently, there's all kinds of stuff that you got with it. But this it also came with a bunch of little things where you can keep your demos in the back, and you can like little CD cases and things where you can write your stuff on. Like, check it out, thing there. Oh, excuse me, right there. You can see where and it came with a pen, and then at the back it came with little card sections where you can put your memory cards in the back. And also, for those of you guys there, you see something called Swap Magic.
Hey, I got one of those too, man. There you go. There you go. That's
the Swap Magic. I mean, Tony did a lot more.
Yeah. I should have had mine out. I got it right there. It's looking at me.
Oh yeah. Here's the little tool that you used to use to kind of.
That's right. You got to slide that shit in there. You got to take off the faceplate. Yeah.
You slide the faceplate. You open it up, and you pull the disc tray out. Yeah.
Yo, we found ways to be doing sneaky shit back in the day, man. It was crazy,
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like, I didn't really use the Swap Magic as much as you did. I did have Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I think I had on there. That was one of the ones that I had.
Yeah.
But you had all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I bought those. Those motherfuckers deserve my money.
Yeah.
I remember that was one of the first games I got, like a midnight launch. Vice City. I was waiting for that motherfucker, man. I was ready. Grand Theft Auto 3 was so monumental, it fucked up every game for me until Vice City came out the next year. Every game I played, I was like, this is whack, this is whack. It's not like GTA 3. I went back to GTA 3, Like, it ruined games. Rockstar does that shit in general. When I played Red Dead Redemption 2, I couldn't play anything for like a month or two. I was like, this is fucking whack.
That and probably it took over most of your life with how long that fucking game is.
Yeah. Oh no, that's the thing. When I play GTA games or Rockstar games, like I don't I don't become obsessed. I become addicted. Like it is real, man. It is real. But yeah, PlayStation 2, dope. console, greatest console of all time, as far as I'm concerned. And we'll be revisiting this again in 5 years during the 25th anniversary. You
Can we
know?
talk about the memory card just real quick?
Yes,
though?
of course.
Like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
God.
Anything else
Like
you guys
the
want to talk
little
about? Go ahead.
icons that came with it. I mean, I just like I was surprised nobody else brought it up. Like I was
Yeah.
like that was one of I would spend like a long time just like on like that menu screen just looking at the little icons that would come with your save file.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
you'd like look
Yeah.
at your memory card. You'd see the cute little icons, and it's like if you were about to delete one, like the weirdest shit would just happen. Like it didn't matter. Like like sometimes it would just like change. Like it was just the coolest thing. Like sometimes it would like the change like whatever the person was doing, or it'd be like, oh, it'll like completely it'll make you feel guilty. Be like, you really gonna delete?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I think for Tekken, the little girl cries because for Tekken, I think Tekken Tag, it's what's her face from Tekken 3, and she cries when you delete her. Yeah, like
funny.
most games on there had a unique little 3D model that would sit on the thing there. So like Metal Gear had, what was it? I know when you beat Metal Gear Solid 3, you got the Patriot. It was a Patriot, and it was the little white flowers. The boss.
Wasn't 2 the Cipher? The little Cipher D?
2 was the Cipher. Yeah, 2 was the Cipher. The Shadow of the Colossus and both Shadow of the Colossus and Eco, they had a little version of them animating. So it was Eco, where it was a little black, like a little like shadow version of him, and then Shadow of the Colossus was the horse. And I think and Wander was on it. Yeah, they all of the ones that all those games like had like and then also again, just the other crazy thing about it is that the menu used to tell you how full your memory card was. So all the little crystals that you would see in the beginning of your PlayStation 2 menu when you would start up, that's if you didn't have it auto start. You just had to go to the menu. Anytime you looked at that, the more crystals that you saw on the screen was how full your memory card actually was. Which is fun.
Yeah, that was really fun back then. The memory card,
Yeah.
Oh, Manny, now you remind me of like probably the worst thing as a PS2 owner you could see. The point where you put in your disc, you turn on your console, and then the screen just like instead of going blue, going black,
red.
it turns red. And it's like unable to read disc.
Yeah.
Like, that was painful.
Yeah.
It only happened to be like once.
It
I was like, what
makes
the
that little noise that like it's sad.
Yeah, or disc read error. A lot of people got that,
Yeah, that's the disc read error thing where it essentially turned red, the screen.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
I remember I would always like go to when I would go to the grocery store. I'd always try to like find like PlayStation magazines and like see if they had like demo discs, and then I would like ask my mom to buy me the magazine. And like, oh my god, I played so many demos. It made me I like would regret it though because there was like a bunch of games I would play the demo played the shit out of those demo discs, but I would never buy like the game itself. Like I think it was called like this mountain bike. It was like this mountain bike game. I think it was called like Downhill Domination. It was by the same people that developed Twisted Metal Black. I think they were called Incognito, but they made that game, and like I played the fuck out of that demo. It was so good. Like one of my biggest regrets was like not buying like the full version of the game because it's like I played it so much. You would have thought I just bought it by then. And I was like, nope, could never find it. But
I used to be part of the PlayStation Underground, and they used to ship me discs, but I used to not really get a lot of the discs because somebody would always steal them from me.
Oh shit!
I'd be like, oh yeah, I'd actually call them up. I'm like, hey, I didn't get the disc this month. They're like, oh well, we did send it out. I'm like, oh, son of a bitch, postman just stole my fucking demo disc because they didn't hide that shit. When you got that demo disc, it said what it was on the front.
Yeah,
like it didn't have anything that covered it up. That's so obviously they see that they're like, oh, take that.
I can remember the last time I played a demo disc, and it was for Xbox Magazine. It was Saints Row, and it was on a 360. And I remember it was like maybe 12 o'clock, maybe 1 in the morning, and I'm playing on my 360, and I see one of my buddies on there, and it says Saints Row. I'm like, what the hell? I sent him a message like, how you get this? Why are you playing this? He's like, oh, there's a demo. We got to get the Xbox Magazine. And at the time, I lived down near the ferry in Staten Island, and I knew at the ferry terminal there was a 24-hour newsstand, one of those Hudson News type things. I was like, fuck that shit, I'm going down there. So it must have been at that point like 2 in the morning or something. So I go down there, I see it, sure enough, it's on the shelf, and they had the disc. Like you said, they always had it right in the open, and they weren't hiding shit. Brought it upstairs, and that was it. And that was the last time I bought a demo disc. I bought that. It was like $5, $6 for that.
Wow. Yeah, I remember too, demo PlayStation 2 demo discs was actually how I found out what Okami was, because I can't remember the edition. I'll have to look it up. I think it was on a couple different, I think it was on like maybe 2 other demo discs, but I remember but it was like the same one. But like I saw this demo for like Okami, I was like, oh, this game looks pretty interesting. So I booted that shit up. And I just played through it. I just kept playing through it. I kept playing through it. And then I heard when the game was going to come out. And then I traded in like a handful of games just so I could buy this game at GameStop. Like, just reliving my childhood. It's just, it got me all nostalgic, man. Shit. It's midnight. It's like past midnight for me. I'm sitting here thinking about all these memories I have in my PlayStation 2.
Yeah, it was a great system. It was a fantastic system. You're never gonna see another one like that again.